Belgian Media World, and welcome to my review for Captain America 2 The Winter Soldier. And boy, what a film, absolutely fantastic, probably the best entry out of the Phase 2 Marvel franchise so far. I am super excited to see where they take it from here. I think it was the best Captain America movie that we've ever had, considering Captain America 1 and the Avengers. Truly fantastic, I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. So let's just talk about Winter Soldier.
Why did you black up the sun?
So Winter Soldier is the second entry in the Captain America kind of trilogy in a sense. They've already confirmed a Captain America 3, and of course if you count the Avengers movies, you know, you get to see Captain America for quite some time now. Chris Evans has recently stated that yesterday that once the contract finishes for Captain America, he will be quitting acting for a while. I think it's because he's getting a bit too known in a sense, a bit typecast as that character, and I think he wants to kind of, a break from acting and get back into kind of independent movies again, I suppose. Of course I watched Snowpiercer a couple of days ago, so that's probably why he's enjoying his low budget movies a little bit more. It's based upon a graphic novel, it's a very famous one, so a lot of people would have heard of this one and probably know the story and probably know what goes on this one. And a lot of people, especially comic book fans, can ever go me kind of thing about it, because there is, I think personally honest, it does stay true to what that comic is, and I think it does translate it very well on screen, and I think a lot of fans will be very happy. I think fans of the comics might just be saying I could just read the comic in a sense, because it practically is identical in that sense. The actual story on the movie I think is absolutely fantastic. I think it stays true to the comic book, The Winter Soldier. I think it touches upon a lot of different elements of the idea of security, and the idea of the free world, and this is not free, this is fear in a sense, and the idea of control and balance. And I really like the idea of that, and it's just one of the very basic themes of a typical conspiracy thriller. And the film is basically a Marvel version of Jason Bourne, government conspiracy, kind of global agents, kind of thing like that. Things like that, basic themes that you would expect in a thriller movie, and it does it very, very well. And I think Captain America's character in this movie is very central, and he's very, he's been through World War II, he's been through an invasion, and he's like a soldier. He wants to do something for his country, he wants to help out, but as duration of this movie, he realises that there's no one he can really trust, and he seeks help in different characters. The two characters in this movie I think are very fantastic. Chris Evans did a fantastic performance, probably his best performance as Captain America, and Steve Rogers. You get to see both sides of those characters, and I think he's just boast grounded performance in the sense of this is going to stop right now. I'm not going to quit, and I like the fact he doesn't break his kind of morals in a sense. There's some great lines in the movie like you better get with the program. It's like, don't hold your breath, because at the end of the day he is who he is, and he will fight, he will battle for causes that he thinks are right, and when he thinks something is wrong, no matter who they are, S.H.I.E.L.D, the enemy kind of thing like that, then he will go after him and he will stop him. And I really like that idea, and he recruits a lot of help, and he managed to get a lot of help from different characters throughout the movie. I think the relationship between Black Widow and Captain America is a bit more stronger in this one in terms of character development back and forth. There's kind of a subtle kind of love thing going on there a little bit, but it wasn't done in a certain way like whoa kind of thing, take that back a notch. It was done in a very subtle way. I think it was quite funny in some scenes, and I think the character development between those two characters are really good, because they're both characters which have got a background, a past, and I think they just, they kind of shy away from it in a sense, or they kind of live in their own kind of, morals in a sense like that. So I think it's really interesting. The Falcon character, which you call the guy with the wings in a sense, I think he's absolutely fantastic. I think he's a really badass character. Considering, how much screen time he had, I think he was quite an important character, definitely for sure. He definitely really helped out, and I really would love to see him again, maybe in the next Captain America movie or the Avengers possibly. I think he did a really good job. I think he was definitely better than Hawkeye, definitely for sure. I think he was just a lot more practical with his wings and his machine guns. I think he's just a lot more physical, just a lot more, personally honest, and I think it's a shame to kind of waste that character and not use him again in another movie for sure. So really good stuff. Of course, you got Nick Fury in this movie. You get to see a lot more of Nick Fury. Samuel L. Jackson probably takes the character a lot more different place than you would expect before, to be fully honest. You will find out a lot of secrets and reveals the character that we really wanted to know, and again, the movie takes it in a certain direction which I genuinely wasn't expected to see in the movie, and it's definitely a game changer in that sense. It's taken a lot of these main characters that we've known and a couple of cameos, a couple of surprises from like past references of other movies, which is quite surprising as well, and kind of flips on its head. It's like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that in a sense. The action sequence is absolutely fantastic, typical what you expect. I mean, Captain America's absolutely fantastic. He's definitely had some training since the Avengers. He's definitely kicking some ass. There's a whole sequence in the first opening act where he's basically on Captain Phillips's ship in a sense, taking out pirates in a way, and just literally flipping through them. The fight scenes between him and the Winter Soldier are really fantastic also. The actual Winter Soldier character is definitely, once you find out certain elements and certain things, a few years and his background and stuff like that, you can understand what's going on with that character and understand where his state of mind is. I think the fight scenes between those two are really fantastic. I love the use of his robot arm, and I think he's just seriously badass, fighting back and forth, and they're both very equally matched in that sense. So it's very interesting to see the Winter Soldier and Captain America go up against each other, especially between the final act, which they definitely battle out, which is pretty badass, I have to say. Actions, fight scenes, typical Marvel stuff, really fantastic visual effects, very funny kind of elements in some places. Good to see Captain America actually get physical. I love hand-to-hand fighting, definitely, and I think, typical of all these Avengers movies and all these Marvel movies, they seem to do their action really, really well and very well crafted and very practical and very good CGI in places as well, so really cool stuff in that respect. So overall, Captain America the Winter Soldier is a fantastic entry into the franchise. Like I've said, it's a game changer. It definitely takes this kind of Marvel franchise into a whole new direction. I'm curious to see where they're going to take it, because they've practically done something in this movie which is saying, it's going to rechange the whole Marvel industry in a sense, the whole way they're looking at it. They've taken characters in a new light, or they've revealed certain aspects, which is really, really cool. Characters are really good in this movie, actions are really good, storyline's really fantastic, really true to the comic. And I think if you're a Captain America fan, I think if you're a Marvel fan, you're going to absolutely enjoy this movie so much. I would recommend you go and watch, of course, Captain America 1 and the Avengers before watching this movie, just because of certain references and certain little things. Of course, if you're a Marvel fan, if you watched all the movies, you're going to get every single reference and every single little quotation, which is really good. There's a couple of surprises, a couple of little things I wasn't expecting. I'm not going to say too much about that, just in case if you want to experience it for yourself, of course. So definitely go and recommend it. It's a fantastic movie to go and watch. And of course, stick around for the end credit scenes, because they are pretty badass as well. That's been my review for Captain America Winter Soldier. Hope you enjoyed watching this review. What did you think? Do you think it was good? Do you think it's better? Any opinions? Comment down below. So in the meantime, Andrew for Film TV. Signing out.